Yo, 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 what's up, party people? Welcome to another episode of Thrive and Dive. Thriving in life by diving into deeper conversations. And today is going to be a great episode because we have the Julia Perry on the
On the pod.
on the pod. Wow, I had a senior moment right there. I'm going to keep that and not redo it.
Wonderful.
How are you doing, Julia?
Good, yeah.
Awesome. How are you doing today, Emma?
Great.
And I'm obviously doing quite dandy. I couldn't think of the word on the chat on the pod. Yeah, it's a podcast after all. It's so true. Have you ever been on a podcast before, Julia?
No. I mean, I was telling you guys earlier, like I helped my brothers with a podcast, but
you're never on the podcast. You're just a behind the scenes person.
I would make like noises in the background just to fill silence.
Oh, it's like some noise.
I was the soundboard.
Yeah. Love it. That's what's up. How many brothers do you have again?
I have two. They're twins.
Okay, I met them. Yeah. Okay, I wasn't sure if there was more to than the two brothers.
Well, I have a sister too.
Oh, you have a sister too. Okay, sorry. Yeah. I meant to say how many siblings you have. I'm on top of it right now, guys. I'm the best. What was the podcast about that your brothers did? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, it was their like senior capstone. Maybe even in their master's degree at
academic related.
Yeah.
Ew, okay, gotcha.
At Indiana Wesleyan with
shout out to Indiana Wesleyan. I didn't realize they went there. That's where I graduated from.
So I think it was like their ministry theology. I don't know what
ministry theology podcast.
Yeah.
Is it on YouTube or anything?
I think it's on Spotify.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I have to check this out. Do you know what was the name of the pod? Since it's just an assignment, maybe they didn't come up with the actual pod name.
They had one.
Oh, really?
It's sad that I can't think of it right now.
It's okay. It's okay. It sounds like we need to have them on the pod at some point.
Maybe.
Get some theology.
Like a call-in.
Yeah, a call-in.
Yeah.
We haven't done a call-in or only live in the studio, aka our guest bedroom.
Yes.
But we never called in. But maybe once I figure out how that all works. But that's sweet. That's cool. And where are you in the? So 4 siblings. Where are you in the mix?
I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest. The baby.
Yeah. I don't know if that like is telling of how I am.
Yeah. It all makes sense now. I don't know what youngest child energy is like. I don't know.
I've been told they're spoiled, but I don't
spoiled?
feel like I'm spoiled.
Well, they also lack self-awareness, I think.
So maybe.
No, it's like, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I get the whole stereotype of, the moms looking out for my baby, that thing. But I don't know. If I asked my youngest brother, he felt spoiled. I don't know if he would say that he felt spoiled, but yeah, you would say you didn't feel spoiled.
I'm very independent, like driven, and yeah.
Is that partly because you're the youngest and you got to witness older siblings do things?
Yeah, I just kind of like fell in their footsteps per se, but then also like did my own thing, and part of just like growing up with 3 siblings, they shaped who I am, partly because my brothers, they're severely dyslexic, and that kind of shaped their schooling, and because of that I just kind of did school independently because like they always needed help and things, and so like I just learned to not ask for help because of that, and just like did things on my own, figured things out. And then my older sister just had her own life stuff, and I just kind of did my own thing, was very independent in school and athletics, and
What's the age gap between all you guys?
We're each like 2.5 years apart. I mean, besides my twin
right?
brothers.
2.5 years apart, twins. Whoa! I mean, it is. I remember hearing a story. This is getting into a whole side conversation, but like, I don't know how to, all the, I know it's like unethical. Like, what do they do when they like harvest like eggs or something or whatever?
IVF.
Maybe IVF. I don't know the science behind it, but like there was like a story of like twins. One was like held in the freezer for 30 years or something.
What?
And then he was hatched or I don't know. Show you how little I know about this stuff. But it's like two brothers 30 years apart.
Yeah.
And then they're twins. Like, I don't know. Do you even know the story I'm talking
I know
about?
what you're talking about.
Well, did I explain that semi-correctly?
Essentially, yeah, that they were from the same egg, I think, and
Yeah. So they could have been twins.
Yeah.
They're 30 years apart
yeah,
now.
but their parents didn't want twins waited. You know?
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
No.
But your brothers are
They're only
like
11 minutes.
11 minutes apart. Big difference.
Yeah, but like from me and my sister, it's 5.5 years.
Okay. Wow. So what's the difference? So 7.5 years to your brothers, or is the sister the oldest?
The sister's the oldest.
Oh, the oldest.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Mhm.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
So 4 kids in 5 years.
4
for
kids
my
in 5
parents.
years. Wow. They're busy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of child raising. Yeah. Cause I'm a family of 4, but, not 4 and 5 or 4 and 5 years. Is that what we said?
Mm-hmm.
Our youngest brother who you know is at Warner.
Mhm.
Shout out to Jason if you're watching.
Yeah.
Is 10 years younger than our oldest,
Mm.
Joel. Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool. Right on. So independent from the womb.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. Did I'm not trying to get into like your family business or anything like that, but did you ever feel like your independence was something where you felt neglected at all, or you just, I'm an independent person, I'm going to figure it out myself, or?
Yeah, I think that just kind of, like the last part of what you said just kind of made me figure things out on my own. No, I never felt like neglected or like not loved.
Figure. I mean, if you know, from what little I know of your family seemed like the real deal. Solid.
Yeah, no, very loved by them.
Yeah. So let's go there. Talk to me about more, if you don't mind, about your upbringing in the Perry family.
Yeah.
And we'll conversate as we go.
Sweet. I grew up in a typical like Christian household. I remember early on just like church was just part of daily life. Like I felt like my family was always at church. Whether that was like my parents volunteering, and then because they were volunteering, all 4 of us were there and like dragged to things, not dragged in a bad way.
Kicking and screaming.
No. So that kind of shaped my framework of just being a Christian, is like my parents just did it so well and how they raised us. And like I remember like family prayer time in the evenings. A friend was asking me like some of the things like routines that we did. Like I remember having like daily devotions in the evenings, and that was just really sweet to have that part of just like a daily thing. And then I grew up at a Christian, private Christian, like elementary, and that kind of, I just early on had a lot of just like, I knew the facts about the Bible because of like Bible quizzing and all of that. And like I memorized things and knew the answers. And like Bible Bowl was a huge thing at our
Bible
school.
Bowl. What is that?
It's kind of like the spelling bee, but instead of being asked like how to spell a word, it was like, who was the 3rd child of Adam and Eve or whatever. And you had to like
Bible trivia.
Yeah.
Who was the oldest man alive?
It was just like very specific questions like that like I could rattle off things.
Do you know who the oldest man alive is? Methuselah.
No.
Fun fact.
So like that kind of, it was a good thing and also a bad thing, because like it just kind of made it less of a relationship with the Lord, because it was just like, know these answers for this quiz and you'll get an A in the class and your team will win Bible Bowl or whatever.
Bible Bowl. What grade were you in at this time?
So I went there 1st through 7th grade.
Okay.
And within that, like I do remember them like it was like 1st grade, I think. They like had a guest speaker in their chapel and they were talking about like becoming a Christian, and I was like, okay, this seems like, I mean, I was in 1st grade, so I didn't have like a like a huge understanding, but I was
Sure.
like, okay, cool. This seems sweet. And yeah, so yeah, and then in yeah, that was like my framework of just like know the answers, you'll do good. And like I yeah, lived a very like loved life. I don't know
Yeah.
how to word it, but yeah.
Yeah.
When-
Oh,
sorry.
go for
I
it.
was going to ask, when did that kind of switch to knowing all of these facts and then like it being a relationship?
Yeah. I would say probably like 8th or ninth grade, when I transitioned. It was funny, like transitioning out of that school kind of put me in the place of like, okay, now I have to choose like the Lord. And like, it wasn't just forced on me. Like it had to be that choice for myself. And then like, yeah, growing up in a family that was so Christian based, yeah, it had to be like my own decision and not like just something my parents had like thrown at me or like just developed patterns within me. It had to be like that relationship choice. And I remember, yeah, it was like 8th or ninth grade at youth group, like this like switch. I don't know how it happened or whatever, but like, yeah, youth group used to be like the hangout space for me to just like be with friends and play games and do the fun things of youth group and not necessarily like be there to listen and learn. But yeah, I remember like, yeah, around that time, 8th, ninth grade, that it just became this, this like choice to like, I wanted to be discipled. And I remember having a conversation with, it was like my friend and I, and then 2 youth leaders that I was just like, hey, do you want to be our mentors and disciple us? And yeah, oftentimes I feel like the discipler or mentor reaches out to those students, but like yeah, my friend and I were just like, no, we want more of this.
Yeah, take initiative.
Yeah, can you like show us how? And they were in college, so like maybe 7-10 years older than us. So yeah.
That's awesome. Was there like a singular moment where you're like, I want this? Like it became more personal, or is it just kind of the whole 8th and ninth grade year, the Lord was just working on you?
Yeah, I think it was more gradual. Like I'm sure there was a church camp moment that I was like, oh, this needs to be more than just knowing facts. And yeah, just being more intentional with my time. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. I love how the more gradual. I mean, obviously, you got the testimonies of like the mountaintop experience at a camp. I was blown away and turned from my sin and did all these things,
Yeah.
which is awesome. I know I can resonate and with my story. I think we had a similar upbringing with the family devotions and the Christian school. I was homeschooled for a while. You were never homeschooled?
From like it was before like first grade.
Before first grade, okay.
Yeah.
So everyone was. Didn't go to preschool. But yeah, so the gradualness though of the Lord revealing himself to me feels kind of similar to with you, where, in first grade you made that decision to put your trust in Christ, whether that was, would you say that's like the moment you experienced salvation, or I thought you need to know the date and exact time per se?
Yeah, I don't really know. Yeah.
Yeah, because I tell people my brother led me to Christ when I was 5, and I hardly remember it, right? But I usually say I got saved when I was 5, but it wasn't until middle school that I was like, oh wow, I have like such a yearning to be a disciple of Christ and to be missional, and I knew the Spirit was working inside me. But then it wasn't until 8th grade when I'm like, oh, I understand my calling and my purpose now. Love God, love people, be in a relationship with Him, help other people be in a relationship with Him. And it wasn't until my junior year when I'm like, all right, I need to be like sanctified and holy and set apart in all ways, shape, and form. So it was a gradual thing, right? So that's cool that similarly with you, there was that gradualness. So what did it look like after 8th, 9th grade into senior high, the upper end of it, junior, senior year, things like that? Well, what did living for the Lord look like to you?
I would say, yeah, just like I was never in the party crowd because of it. I like struggled with friends because like I wanted more out of friendship than just like let's hang out. Like I wanted to have deep, meaningful conversations. And yeah, I think a lot of high school was just like me choosing not to do things that I knew like my classmates were doing. And yeah, like I remember I played soccer, and like I was always just like an encourager on the team. And um but that wasn't the framework for everyone, and like it was a clear like cut of like who like followed the Lord and who didn't, and even like the in between too. But like I remember this moment of choosing like I could try to like gain the approval of them by like bullying people on the team. But I like refrained from that. I was like, nope. And I even like stood up for that, like against that, and wanted like, no, like we're not doing that on this team, and wanted to just like have a team that fostered just like good community and just like teamwork, and not like downgrading people because they weren't like varsity material. Like I didn't want, you know, those JV girls to be like turned away because people on the team just didn't value them. And because of that, like I did get in some just like incidences of like them targeting me because like I stood up against them. But yeah, I'd say like, yeah, choosing to say no to situations like that was really my high school experience of, yeah, I'm not gonna indulge in those things. I'm not gonna go out partying, and people knew and just never invited me to things, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Did you ever find your like group of close friendships in high school?
There were a few, yeah. I'd say there were some at youth group that I really loved, and yeah, like I remember my friend Ashlyn. I think she and I like early on, like 8th grade, 9th grade, kind of. She was the friend that went. You know, we went to our youth leaders and we're like, hey, let's be discipled together. And so yeah, I had her and then a few other people as well that I did like small groups with, but not a huge group of friends. But
That's
okay.
awesome. That
Yeah.
speaks to the importance of youth group in church
Mm-hmm.
in the midst of being involved in a sport and in school. And I know some of my closest friends from high school are from youth group, not necessarily from school or from the sports team.
Yeah.
So yeah, how what did involvement in your youth group look like? Did you ever get to like serve in different capacities or were just an attender? Did you go on trips, youth trips or anything?
Yeah. So early on, my church does this thing called Serve Week, and they're in their like 24th year of it. And yeah, so instead of sending, now they've been sending people to just like your typical church camp, but at the time it was just this. But they gathered. It started with their youth group, students of like, it was like 14 students at the time. But yeah, it was like this service project week where you did mission work in our town, and we slept at the church, and yeah, got to partner with some organizations, nonprofits in our town, and just kind of minister and do whatever they needed. There's been times where yeah, we would do projects at people's homes that needed help. I've built ramps because of this serve week. I've roofed.
Ramps for like wheelchairs? Or,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Is it ramps for the BMXers? Sorry.
Yeah, like wheelchair ramps, torn down some sheds for some elderly people. Yeah, but like that was my experience of the church. Like serving was a huge thing at our church. And yeah, like I remember in like I was like 3 or 4 when I first started doing this.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, like our service project was like dusting the church. So I remember like running around the church with a dust rag. I had 3 years old, and yeah, and then you know we had like VBS for the younger kids. But yeah, those like older groups of students, middle school, high school, like we spent the whole week sleeping at the church. And then from essentially 8 to 5, we were out in the community, whether that was like running block parties for neighborhoods. And then, yeah, like that was a huge thing. Doing service projects around the community. Yeah, I just remember that being like a very distinct moment in my faith of just like serving is so huge.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool because I
Mhm.
think sometimes, especially like high school, I had the privilege of being super involved with my youth group, going on service projects, going on missions trips, going on conferences, camps, whatever you want to call it. And that service component can sometimes like appear to be like a turn off to kids, like, oh, what kids are going to want to serve?
Yeah.
But when you do it, it's like, whoa, this is, like, I think it's for the first time, at least for me, it's like, oh, the world doesn't revolve around me. It's like I get to serve people, and it's actually very fulfilling. And not that I serve people for the fulfilling feeling, but it's just like, it's just how God meant it to be when we serve and do missional work. So to those who have never been part of a service project or a mission trip or anything of that nature, encourage you to get plugged into a local church, and then to find a trip or mission trip, or it doesn't have to be an overseas trip. It can be local, like you're saying, sleeping at the church and and serving in the community. So that's what's up.
Yeah. And a huge thing to your point of like, middle school, high school may not want to do that. This was like during the summer. So like I said no to summer plans because of this camp. It was just like so fun. And getting to impact people in my community. And now that it's like been so established in our community, it's so sweet coming back every year for it and like hearing community members, like people that live in the Muncie area, being like, no, like I know what service. I like it's so fun. And like I love being impacted by this church. And so it's cool to hear feedback from people that aren't really connected to the church but are like around the church.
Right, your reputation precedes you. Yeah, I think that's cool. I'm reading a book called Everyday Revolutionary by Pastor J.D. Greer from the Summit Church. It's talking about how to engage like in transformational work instead of just getting engaged in the cultural wars of politics and all the different things. And he put it out there, like, if your church were to be removed all of a sudden from your community, would anyone notice it was gone? Like all of a sudden, if all the people from Summit Church, his church, were gone from North Carolina, would people even know? Right. So with things like that, it's like, whoa, if your church, whatever the name of your church, what's the name of that church you go to?
Union Chapel.
If Union Chapel left, people would know because Serve wouldn't be happening anymore. Serve Week, is that what we call it? Serve Week. Yeah. So that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
What now, switching gears a little bit, so we went to Taylor, is that right, in Indiana? How far away is that from where you grew up?
Like 30 minutes.
Okay. So did you commute, or were you a residential student, or both?
Yeah, I lived on campus.
Oh, I did. Cool.
I was there 3 years. I did. So I graduated in COVID year from college or from high school.
From high school. Oh wow. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So I decided to do community college so then I could still be with family, and I just did things virtually through a community college and saved money that way. So that was nice.
Yeah.
And then was at Taylor for 3 years studying exercise science, and
Love it. Why Taylor? Why exercise science?
I visited Taylor, I think it was like sophomore year of high school, and it was just like, it just felt like home. I did other visits to other universities just because like people told me to. And, like,
it's the right thing to do.
Like you need to, apply
Options.
to like 5 to 7 schools, visit all these schools, and so I did it. But nothing like really compared to Taylor and like the opportunities they had there. I really wanted to do like study abroad at some point, and they had like a well-developed program with that. And like the professors just like super sweet from day one, like visiting, getting to chat with them, ask questions about, hey, like if I were to do this major, what would it lead to? All of that. And it was just like, this seems right. yeah, I'm very grateful that I did delay my time, because I was gonna go right after high school and not do my like stay at home and do community college. But it was a lot of like Lord directing that timing, because had I not gone when I did, I wouldn't have gotten onto the floor that I lived on, and that's when I really developed like solid friendships is at Taylor within my floor, because they have like a huge like res life community component of like your floor is your community, and yeah, just doing daily life with each other. And I lived on a floor with 50 girls, and it was just like a blast all the time. But yeah, had I not come when I did to Taylor, I wouldn't have met any of them really.
God's
And
timing. That's
yeah,
awesome.
it was huge. Yeah.
That's great.
And then after Taylor, you came to Warner, right?
Mhm.
What's your time at Warner been like?
Yeah. So I graduated from Taylor 2024, exercise science. Didn't really know what I wanted to do with that, and I felt called to, or like just really intrigued by res life. And I was an RA at Taylor for 2 years, and just really loved the relationship aspect of just pouring into your peers and doing like life on life ministry. So I was like, let's see what that looks like. So Taylor has a program called MAHI, and it's Masters of Higher Education. And I was enrolled to do that right after graduating and starting, fall of 2024. But it just felt unsettled. Like I worked there over the summer, just doing housekeeping stuff, and just, kind of felt unsettled about it, trying to figure out financing it. And do I commute from home? Do I find a place closer to campus? And just this unsettled feeling. So I had a conversation with my parents, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do this anymore. And I remember the day after, like, having that big conversation, being like, sorry, I'm not gonna do this. I get a text from Delaney, and she and I grew up together in Indiana at this church, Union Chapel, and so that's how I know her. And she texted me and was like, "Hey, we have a position open in our Res Life department for a resident director. Are you at all interested in pouring into college students? This sounds crazy, but like, would you want to do that?" And I was like, this is crazy timing, because I like just said I wasn't gonna do this MAHI program, and I'm like at a loss of what to do. And so it just kind of, again, to the point of like the Lord's timing of just bringing opportunities. And so I went through a very quick interview process with Warner. That was around July 4th when Delaney reached out, and then I interviewed the next like 2 weeks with like 2 or 3 interviews, and I moved to Florida. I think I arrived July 30th or something like that.
That's really fast.
So I accepted the offer. I think it was like July 15th. And then like 15 days later was moving here.
Wow.
I think I would have come a little sooner, but my dad and I already signed up to do a Tough Mudder that weekend. So I was like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to wait another week. And so it was a very quick transition into the position. And it's been a really cool and neat opportunity to expand on just those parts of me that really like relationship building and just meeting people where they're at. And Warner is a very unique student population, very diverse, and I just love meeting them where they're at and just providing a space for them to question. Like I feel like in in some aspects the church like turns away questions, and I don't want people to be turned away from Christianity because they have questions. Like, no, I like push into those questions. And that's something like I've loved creating, is that space for people to be authentic and just like meet them where they're at, find out their background and ask questions. Like I truly think people feel the most seen when they're asked questions about who are you, like what brought you here, those kind of questions.
Yeah, it's so cool that like you were wanting to have like such a community of girls and like a deeper relationship, and then throughout like your time at Taylor you found that, and then to be able to pour back into that at Warner is really awesome. And so cool how God worked to like put all of those pieces together to get you to Warner.
Yeah, it's awesome. Especially that piece you said there at the end, which I want to highlight for those who might have missed it, just the importance of questions when it comes to ministering to people, inviting them to ask questions, right? Not feeling threatened by questions, especially questions that might be a little more edgy, like why is the Bible the authoritative word of God? And it's like, how dare you ask that question? Of course, it's the authoritative. You're like, no, it's like, let's hear you out. What's your struggles? What are you wrestling with? And allowing people to have that freedom to ask questions, and hopefully we can provide answers that is sufficient to their questions, and if they're truly open to hearing the answers, receiving them and living by the answers that we have. So then ministry is built on relationships, like you said, asking personal questions. Well, why'd you come to Warner? What's your ambitions? What's your hobbies? What's your values? Stuff like that makes people feel seen, heard, and develops that relationship that's gonna go for the long haul. So thanks for demonstrating that important aspect of ministry. So with that being said, by the time this podcast comes out, you will be away from Warner. You're leaving Warner University. What is the next season of life looking like for you?
It's a little up in the air, but again, like the Lord's timing's been really sweet in all of this, because like as soon as I decided not to come back to Warner, I got a few like emails from my mom to help out with the farmers market back home, and something like I do have a passion for is nutrition and nutrition education and exercise and wellness and all of that side of just a holistic health. So as soon as I like had that conversation with my mom, she was like, hey, I have like all these connections. Do you want me to start like connecting you with those people? And I was like, sure. And like that next day, she sends me a calendar invite for a meeting with I think it's the Indiana like food council or something. I forget their
the food council.
It was just like really cool to sit in with that meeting. They like made me like introduce myself, and I was like, I'm just a baby in the field of nutrition, but I would love to like hear just like nutrition nonprofit stuff. I truly don't know what that looks like, but it was just really neat to hear like there were people from like a food pantry and just like community kitchens and stuff like that. And I would love to pair like just nonprofit with nutrition, and like I know that's out there. I just need to like seek it out.
Seems like it's a good first step.
Yeah,
obviously you got your degree in exercise science, but when did the nutrition, all that passion start to well up in you?
Yeah, I've always loved cooking. My dad taught me pretty early on in like through 4-H. We grew up doing 4-H.
Wow, nice.
Yeah,
you have like a cow and everything, or a pig, or just the plant side of it, or I don't know 4-H that well.
We did like the home ec side of 4-H. So like I know how to sew,
nice.
and I know how to cook, and I did electricity. Like I made my own circuit. Yeah, so that
Isaac Newton over here.
so that was fun. Yeah, like I remember like creating the circuit board with like different like batteries, and you had to like hook it up to the wire and like turn the light bulb on and all of that. And yeah, but anyway, back to early on was just in the kitchen a lot cooking, and then I found out that I had some food allergies, and so like that just kind of pushed me to just kind of figure out more about nutrition and how to get just like how to cook with allergies. So I'm allergic to dairy and gluten, and that's in a lot of things. So yeah, I just like learned to figure things out, and I did a few projects in college within our nutrition classes with food allergies, and just kind of sparked an interest into nutrition, and more with just like working with people with allergies or similar they can't eat this because of a health condition, that kind of thing.
Wow. Man, we're trying to eat better. I know, and we're so hard to be disciplined, but in addition to obviously avoiding the food allergy, it seems like you're just like disciplined with eating in general, right? Yeah. How did you develop the discipline muscles?
I think it's just my childhood. Like we were very much an ingredient household. Like we cooked, and we didn't have a lot of like fast food options or just like grab and go meals. Like we sat down and had meals together, and I think that just ingrained like cooking is such a fun experience, especially when you're cooking for people and with people. I find that so fun. But yeah, I think that just knowing where your food comes from, like I'm big on that, and yeah, I don't know.
From a health perspective, or
like kind of
the processed foods. So whatever.
Yeah. There's a book that I've read parts of it, but it's called like Ultra Processed Foods, and it kind of got me like I'm maybe a little too picky when it comes to like can't eat that because of like it has like so many trans fats in it or whatever, and like maybe I'm too nitpicky when it comes to those things, and
could be worse for things we nitpicky about.
Have you ever read The Biblio Diet? It's a book by Josh Axe.
Oh, your boy Josh Axe. Welcome to Air Force Josh Axe.
I haven't read it, but I listened to his podcast. I listened to his podcast. And a lot, but it's a good book. I'm not
based on what he's referenced.
Yeah, based on about how to eat the foods that God intended us to eat, and like the nutritional value that they have. So it's probably a good book worth checking out.
Yeah, the Josh Axe guy apparently is the man of nutrition. Check him out. He's got a podcast. Yeah. You don't eat meat, right?
No.
Yeah. Can I ask you about that? Or you rather not talk about that? I don't want to ask anything out of pocket. What's the reason behind that?
So it started with my sister. She decided, I think it was like 2020, that she was gonna like go vegan, and I was like, okay, I'll do it with you just to support. So she didn't like feel like she was alone in that journey. So yeah, I did that starting in 2020. And then just over time, I did like my own research within like just how like meat companies process their meat. It's not necessarily like I have against like things against like killing animals per se, but it's more of like what they're fed and how they're fed and how they're raised prior to killing, and just like that. And it's like that was a huge thing. And then I've watched maybe too many documentaries on it, and I just like can't unsee things and know things. And so the more I know, the more. I'm like, yeah, I don't love where that meat came from. And yeah, it's like if I wouldn't feed it to myself, why would I feed it to an animal? And then yeah, like there's companies that I won't support because just how they just like inject things into their like chickens, for example, like to because it's such a like let's produce so much chicken quickly and but not like sustainability or sustainable. They will like pump the chickens with just like not great things, and it'll like increase the size of them, but then at the rate that it's increasing their like muscle, it's not increasing their like bone structure, so then they just like fall apart, and then they just like sit there, and it's
I've also heard that them doing that, like it doesn't increase any nutritional value for us to eat it. It's just like more volume.
Oh, it's just useless.
Yeah.
Wow. Where do you think, since we're kind of going this conversation, where do you think when it comes to the creation mandate to like, to tend and to keep, basically steward God's creation, would you say from your perspective, I mean, I don't, it's such a complicated conversation because I don't know all the different ins and outs of it. Would that be going against the creation mandate, you think, of tending to keep doing stuff like that, like pumping that stuff into the chickens to where their bones can't carry their own weight? Is that?
I would say, yeah, I don't think that sounds like stewarding or like tend to keep as the Lord equipped us to do. I'm not an expert in that, but from my personal belief, I would say that doesn't go in line.
Yeah. Do you think there's a level of knowledge that every Christian should have about these type of conversations, or have you not thought about that, or you don't press that upon anyone else?
I tend to not press on, like, I'm not gonna sit there, and if you're like eating a piece of chicken, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you sinful person, you're eating chicken. Like I'm not gonna push my beliefs when it comes to that. I'm not gonna push my beliefs on you about like when I'm eating out, like I'm not like weirded out if you're next to me eating chicken. Like I'm not that person, and I'm not gonna be like, you should become vegan, all of that. Like I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, like I don't know, it's a weird.
I think of like, not that it's completely adjacent, but like some people are like, every person should know this amount about politics, right? And like, in order to be a good steward of, that, and then I think of this, like every person should at least have this level of knowledge of what goes down behind the scenes. I just wondered if there was a parallel to that, where you think, oh, I think it'd be, I know you said, I've watched too many documentaries at this point to go back. Is there a level to where, part of me is like, oh, ignorance is bliss, I don't want to know, right? I just don't want to know. But is that bad of me to be like, ignorance is bliss, in your opinion?
I wouldn't say it's bad. I'm full supporting like local farmers. Like if you knew a farmer that had its own cattle, and you knew how it treated the cattle, and then like just like knew that process, I would support that. Like local grown things. Like I mean, even produce, like I prefer buying my produce from a farmer's market versus from the grocery store, just because, like, number one, you're supporting local, which is very sweet. Like those are local small farms that they're trying to provide for their families, and so like that's just a very sweet thing that comes from it. But then also like they tend to treat, like, they're not using harmful pesticides on their food, and there's a lot to that of how that can impact your body. And
wow. Oh, thanks for sharing all that. And let me ask questions. One of my good friends, he's vegan, and I've never sat down and asked him all of the convictions behind it. So maybe if he comes on the pod, he can share his side of it. But thanks for sharing your convictions around that. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, great. Well, Emma, you have any more questions for Julia Perry? Yeah. So thankful that you hopped on the podcast.
Yeah, me too.
I know this is a busy time for you as you get ready to leave
It is,
Lake
yeah.
Wales, Florida to head back to Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah. Middle of nowhere, Florida to middle of nowhere, Indiana.
Hey, there you go. It should be like a portal from nowhere to nowhere.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much again, Julia, for hopping on the podcast. And don't be a stranger. Reach out from Indiana if you're ever back in town.
Yeah.
And would love to connect with you. So, yeah. Awesome. Thank you, folks, for joining us on this episode of Thrive and Dive with Julia Perry. If you enjoyed this episode and you're watching on YouTube, be sure to smash that like button. If you're also watching on YouTube and you enjoy our content, be sure to subscribe. And if you're listening on Spotify and you haven't yet, please follow us. That'd mean the world to us. And if you really like the content, give us a 5-star rating. But until then, we'll see you at the next episode. This is Thrive and Dive, thriving in life by diving into deeper conversations.